You know, they say that the first step can sometimes be the hardest, but in some cases, the first step can be the easiest. In this episode of Llamas Love Lettering, before we start getting into all the lettering and all the working on our handwriting and shit, we gotta have sort of a starting point. And if you've followed me for any amount of time, you probably have heard this before, that you wanna know where you're beginning so you can see your progress, because that's one of the only ways you're gonna continue to keep trying. So today we're doing what I like to call a handwriting temperature. And what it is it gives you a chance to look at where you're at, date it, and then as you work, come back to it and see the progress that you've made. Now you could use a piece of paper and a pen, any piece of paper, any pen. If you have a notebook, you could start it there. Or if you are in our Llamas Love Lettering Facebook group on Facebook, I really got this. If you're in the Llamas Love Lettering group on Facebook, which the link is down below if you want to join, I'm gonna have this file up there. It is a handwriting temperature sheet. And it has a couple of questions, some spaces, and a space for your date. You know, I've been actually utilizing this for a few months now because that's how long I've been procrastinating on starting this fucking shit again. You can download it and use it whenever you want to. And if you're using a binder for your lettering practice, you can stick this in there at the beginning of whenever you're practicing. Some of you are like, but aren't we lettering? Why are we working on handwriting? They go hand in hand. Lettering and handwriting are two separate things. Lettering's more like drawing, and handwriting's what you use every day. However, to get better at lettering, you have to be comfortable with your handwriting, because then you have a base to work from. Okay, so the first question on this worksheet is actually harder than you might think it is. It was hard for me, and I've been doing lettering and handwriting and shit for a long ass time. It's what do you love about your handwriting? So think about it and be honest. Don't put in any of those bullshit like excuse, oh, I love my handwriting because it's sloppy as fuck and no one can understand it but me. Or I love my handwriting because it's, you know, it's terrible and I know, but, you know, don't give yourself backhanded compliments. Give yourself real compliments. Think about what you actually love about your handwriting, even if it's a small thing or if it's a big thing. If it's a specific letter, write that letter. Say, I love how my A's look. I got boss ass fucking M's. Like, think about it. Write what you really love. Make sure to celebrate where you're at right now and the things you love right now, because in times when you're feeling kind of shitty about your progress, because we all have those times, we have those times all the time. How many times can I say time in this sentence this time? You will have something to kind of reflect on and think about, yeah, I think I do that shit pretty well. So do that, okay, man? It's important. The second question is, what do I want to change about my handwriting? And again, don't be an asshole. Don't be like everything, because that's not, you know, helpful. Think about what it is that you actually want to change, whether it's a specific letter, whether it's an aspect of your handwriting, whether it's something about lettering. It doesn't just have to be your handwriting, it can be about lettering. Is it you want to get better at connecting letters in cursive? Is it I want to be able to have legible handwriting when I'm writing fast, which is something I highly identify with? Is it I really want to put little hearts on top of my eyes instead of, you know, dots? I want to do that, and I want to do that without having to think about it. Write down what you think you want to change now. This is something that will evolve. The better you get, the more practice you get, what you want is going to change, especially as you start achieving these things. But set yourself a small goal in your handwriting to look for, because then when you get that, you'll feel that victory accomplishment, and then you'll want to keep going, which is what we want here, right? Every day, no excuses, right? Finally, you want to make sure to write out the alphabet, upper and lowercase. I didn't specify whether it needed to be printing or cursive or lettering for that matter. You choose. Do what you want. What do you want to work on? What do you want to kind of look back on? I usually, when I do this, I put my printing alphabet. Sometimes I try putting my cursive alphabet, but I don't always like writing my cursive alphabet. It always feels so much more unnatural than just writing cursive words. I don't understand why this bothers me so much, but writing individual cursive letters is so much more aggravating to me than writing words. Remember, when you're using pens, that the size of the tip matters. Yeah, I said it. There's, you know me. There's always going to be tip size matters jokes in my video. Well, it matters. Not in the quality of your writing necessarily, but in what it is how it looks, like the heaviness of it or not. Like whether you're writing with a bold tip or a ultra fine tip, your writing's gonna look subtly different. If you wanna compare it, see what it looks like, you can do that. So you can see the difference. I tend to enjoy using a bold tip. I like boldness when I'm practicing because I'm heavy-handed, and I've found that bold tips tend to feel better on the iron grip when I'm like hammering down, and this is wildly inappropriate. We're gonna stop that there. But remember that, practice with different pens. That's the thing, either whether you're using the worksheet or whether you're writing in your notebook, you can spend as much time as you want kind of laying a baseline as to where you're starting from. And then the most important thing that you can possibly do on this, whether it's on the worksheet or not, is date it. Put the date down, because that way you know when you did it, so you can look back on what you did, what you've done. You can look back on it and see the progress you've made. You may not see it tomorrow, but you will see it in a month. Give yourself a month, at least 30 days, a little bit every day. We've talked about this. I've hammered this home on this channel. I've hammered this home everywhere that I've ever talked about lettering. You've got to give yourself time. And the whole reason for doing this temperature situation here at the beginning is to remind you of where you're starting from, so you can take that and use it as a starting point for everything that you do from here on out. I will add as a side note, if you want to use this to mark down like some bubble lettering or whatever it is that you're already working on to kind of see where you're at now, that's entirely possible too. I might recommend you not do that on a worksheet though, because if you're doing bubble lettering, you may need more room than what I've given you on this worksheet. But that's how you do a handwriting temperature. You can do this whenever you want to, at the beginning of every month, whenever you remember to, whenever you feel like you've seen progress. Do it again. Your call. If you want the worksheet, like I said, it will be in the Llamas Love Lettering group on Facebook, and you can find that down below. We're going to be trying something different this season as well. So if you're in the Llamas Love Lettering Facebook group, on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time, I'm going to be popping in for a short live Facebook session so I can answer any questions you have about this. And we're going to try and do this after show, after every Llamas Love Lettering episode, so that you can get some questions in. I can't promise to answer all of them because sometimes there's a lot. Unless you're one of my patrons, then I'll get back to you. But that's some self-promotion for another time. I really hope you enjoyed this. I know that it might be a little impatient. We're slow going, easing our way into this new season, but not everybody's gotten a lot of practice in, and we got to make sure we pick everybody up and take them all along for the ride. No lettering student left behind. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.